faster, much further than I thought it would. And I think what the American people are perceiving is there is something very wrong in this country when ordinary Americans are working longer hours for low wages, when we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major country on earth, and almost all new income and wealth is going to the top 1%. And then on top of that, people see that that rigged economy is sustained by a corrupt, and I use that word advisedly, a corrupt campaign finance system that allows billionaires today to spend as much money as they want through super PACs to elect the candidates of their choice. And all over this country, and it's not just Democrats, it is conservatives, it is Republicans are saying that is not what America is supposed to be about. So if you're asking me, why is it that our campaign has created the kind of momentum that it has, I think we are touching a nerve with the American people who understand that establishment politics is just not good enough. We need bold changes. We need a political revolution.
Every politician takes money from big money ever since it was made legal with Citizens United. It's not right, but it's legal. It's legalized corruption. If all the ball players are taking steroids, then you have to take steroids too to compete, right? I'm not against Hillary. I met someone I have more in common with, and his name is Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is this senator from Vermont who miraculously has not and will not take money from super PACs. Where all the other candidates are getting gigantic sums of money from billionaires in an unspoken but inevitable exchange for favors and influence over policy, Bernie is not for sale.
Truth and reality is no president, not Bernie Sanders or anybody else, can do it alone. You know why? Wall Street has incredible power and endless supplies of money. Corporate America has enormous power. They would shut down manufacturing plants in Nebraska or Vermont tomorrow if they could make $5 more by going to China. Corporate media, owned by some of the most powerful institutions in this country, will give you stuff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, except those issues that are most important to the American working person. Like the opportunity if the gentleman from California would respond, just to ask him a brief question, if I might. Now, my ears may have been playing a trick on me, but I thought I heard the gentleman a moment ago say something, quote unquote, about homos in the military. Was I right in hearing that expression?
Absolutely. Putting homosexuals in the military.
You said something about homos in the military. Was the gentleman referring to the many thousands and thousands of gay people who have put their lives on the line in countless wars defending this country? Was that the group of people that the gentleman was referring to?
I'm talking about the military. People in the military do not support.
That's not what we were talking about. You used the word homos in the military. You have insulted thousands of men and women who have put their lives on the line.
I'm talking about you and liberals like you.
54 years ago, you were in the front lines of trying to desegregate school housing at the University of Chicago. You were even arrested.
Don't tell anybody that.
What was it that motivated a 20-year-old white kid from Brooklyn to do that?
I got involved in a group, some may know, some not, called the Congress on Racial Equality, CORE. And it was a great group. We got involved in trying to desegregate housing owned by the University of Chicago, segregated housing. And we also got involved in efforts to desegregate the school system there, and I got arrested. But I think, you know, as far back as I can remember, and Anderson, I can't tell you why, but injustice is something that I have always fought throughout my life. Says that all public colleges and universities in America must be tuition-free, meaning that everybody, regardless of their income, who has the ability and the desire, can get a higher education. Number two, that we're going to deal with the issue of student debt, which is just crushing millions of people in this country. And we do that in two ways. Number one, we say that if you can refinance your home today at 2 or 3%, you should not be paying 8 or 10% interest rates on your student debt. Secondly, the federal government must get out of the business of profiteering, of making billions of dollars on student debt from working class families. And I think the simple truth is that in America, people working full-time should not be living in poverty. Since 1968, the real value of the federal minimum wage has fallen by close to 30%. And people all over this country and in state after state on their own have voted to raise the minimum wage. And by the way, in state after state where the minimum wage has gone up, more jobs have been created. Let us stand today with the tens of millions of workers who are struggling to put food on the table, to take care of their families. My radical idea is that in America, if somebody works 40 hours a week, that person should not live in poverty. All right, that's the radical idea. I believe we should raise the minimum wage to a living wage, and that is $15 an hour over the next several years. And I am proud to tell you I have been on picket lines with fast food workers in Washington, D.C. and elsewhere. And these people deserve an enormous amount of credit for their courage, and we are making real progress. I was home in Burlington, Vermont on Christmas Eve. The temperature was 65 degrees. People in Vermont know what's going on. People who did ice fishing where their ice is no longer there on the lake understand what's going on. I'm on both the environmental and energy committees. The debate is over. Climate change is real. It is already causing major problems. And if we do not act boldly and decisively, a bad situation will become worse.
In the previous debate, you said the greatest threat to national security was climate change. Do you still believe that?
Absolutely. In fact, climate change is directly related to the growth of terrorism. And if we do not get our act together and listen to what the scientists say, you're going to see countries all over the world. This is what the CIA says. They're going to be struggling over limited amounts of water, limited amounts of land to grow their crops, and you're going to see all kinds of international conflict. But of course, international terrorism is a major issue that we have got to address today.
Stand up, fight back. We can do a lot better.